Single dad janitor taught CEO's blind girl piano, unaware her cold mom was secretly watching. The school auditorium smelled faintly of polish and dust, the soft echo of footsteps bouncing off the linoleum floors. Marcus, a single dad and janitor, pushed his mop along the empty rows, humming a tune under his breath. Life hadn't been easy. Divorced at 32, raising an 8-year-old daughter alone, scraping together enough to pay rent. But Marcus had something money couldn't buy, a heart that believed in small acts of kindness. He had noticed her the first day she arrived, a small, fragile figure sitting in a wheelchair in the corner of the music room. Lily, the CEO's daughter, was blind. Her father, an intimidating executive who ruled his company with precision and cold efficiency, spent little time with her. Her mother, poised and polished, rarely ventured beyond social obligations, leaving Lily often alone. But Lily had a spark, and Marcus saw it. One afternoon, while emptying trash bins near the music room, Marcus overheard a soft, hesitant hum. Curious, he peered in. Lily's fingers hovered over the piano keys, uncertain and timid. "Need a hand?" he asked gently. Startled, she turned toward his voice. I'm not good," she whispered. "Everyone starts somewhere," Marcus said with a warm smile. He guided her small hands to the keys, showing her how to feel the rhythm and the notes through touch. Hours passed in a blur of laughter, clumsy attempts, and tiny victories. Her first simple melody. Marcus didn't teach for recognition. He taught because he believed in her, and in the quiet joy of sharing something beautiful. What neither of them knew was that Lily's mother, Marianne, often watched from the doorway, her arms folded, expression unreadable. She was a woman who measured life in outcomes, grades, trophies, status, and yet, seeing Marcus kneeling on the floor, patient and genuine, stirred something she hadn't felt in years: humility. Weeks turned into months. Lily's confidence grew, her laughter more frequent. Marcus watched her fingers dance across the keys with pride, knowing that no diploma or accolade could match the courage she was learning to build. And all the while, Marianne observed silently, intrigued by this janitor who treated her daughter with more care than she had ever shown. One evening, after a particularly long session, Marcus packed up the sheet music. "You did amazing today," he said. Lily grinned. "I want to play for my dad someday," she said softly. Marcus hesitated. "You know it doesn't have to be perfect. Music is about feeling." Just then, Marianne cleared her throat. Lily turned, startled. Marcus straightened up, feeling awkward under her cold gaze. But instead of the expected scolding or critique, Marianne's voice softened. "Thank you," she said. "I didn't realize. She needed someone like you." Marcus blinked, taken aback. "It's nothing. She's talented, she just needed a little guidance." Marianne nodded, her eyes glistening. "I think I've been too focused on everything else. Maybe I've been too hard on her and on myself." The words hung in the air, tender and unspoken, for too long. Marcus smiled faintly, realizing that kindness wasn't just about teaching someone to play piano. It was about reminding the world, and even those who had forgotten, what it meant to care. From that day forward, the music room was no longer just a place for lessons. It became a haven. Lily played with joy. Marcus continued to teach with patience, and Marianne began to visit more often, her heart slowly thawing. She even clapped the loudest at Lily's first recital, tears spilling quietly as her daughter's music filled the room. It wasn't wealth, status, or perfection that made the moment magical. It was humanity. Simple and profound. One man's selflessness had created a ripple, touching a little girl, her mother, and even himself in ways that money could never buy. As the final notes of Lily's melody lingered in the air, Marcus felt a quiet satisfaction. In teaching, he had given far more than music. He had given hope, connection, and a reminder that compassion always finds its way. And for Marianne, that same melody became a wake-up call. Life wasn't about appearances, but about the courage to care, the humility to change, and the love to truly see. In the end, the janitor's kindness didn't just teach piano, it taught a family how to truly hear each other. Weeks after the recital, the music room became a regular gathering spot. Lily, now brimming with confidence, would rush in each afternoon, eager to play, while Marcus organized sheet music, polishing the keys and humming quietly to himself. The bond between them deepened. Teacher and student, yes, but also friends navigating life's small joys together. Marianne, too, had changed in subtle ways. She no longer lingered behind doors, cold and distant. Instead, she started sitting near the piano bench, watching quietly at first, then asking questions about the notes, the rhythm, even the little stories behind Lily's favorite pieces. Slowly, her admiration for Marcus grew, not just for his skill in teaching, but for the unwavering patience and warmth he showed her daughter. One rainy afternoon, Marcus noticed Marianne standing by the window, the gray sky reflecting in her thoughtful eyes. Lily's fingers fumbled over the keys, frustrated by a tricky passage. "Try again, Lily," Marcus encouraged gently. "Remember, it's okay to make mistakes. That's how we learn." Marianne stepped closer. "She's lucky to have someone like you," she said softly. Marcus shook his head, smiling wryly. "I'm the lucky one. She's teaching me just as much as I'm teaching her." That evening, as the sun dipped behind the clouds and cast warm streaks across the room, Marianne did something she hadn't done in years. She smiled openly. It wasn't forced or polite, it was genuine. And Lily, sensing her mother's approval, played a soft, lilting melody that filled the space with warmth. Word of Lily's progress slowly spread through the school, and soon other children began watching her play. Marcus encouraged them to join, turning the music room into a community hub of creativity and encouragement. Children who had been shy or uncertain found courage in the notes of the piano and the kindness of a man who swept floors by day but nurtured dreams by heart. One day, as Marcus was leaving, Marianne approached him with a small, neatly wrapped box. "It's a gift," she said hesitantly, a hint of vulnerability in her tone. "For Lily and for you too, in a way. Thank you for reminding me what really matters." Inside the box was a vintage metronome, polished and shining. Marcus ran his hand over it, touched by the gesture. "She's going to love this," he said softly. From that moment on, the bond between the three of them grew stronger. Marianne started volunteering to help with lessons, learning to guide Lily alongside Marcus. She discovered joy in the small victories, laughter in the clumsy mistakes, and pride in watching her daughter thrive in a way she had never understood before. For Marcus, life remained humble and busy, but the rewards were immeasurable. He saw firsthand how a single act of kindness, teaching a blind girl to play piano, could ripple outward, touching hearts and transforming lives. And for Lily, the music was no longer just sound. It was love, patience, and a sense of belonging she had longed for. One late afternoon,